Hello, this is Coach Clemens, head football coach for Liberty North Eagles. The Eagles had a good week last week. We went 5-0 at all levels from 9 through 12 in our football program. Our freshman A and B teams both beat Platte County last week. Our sophomore team beat Lee Summit. Our JV team beat Winnetonka 42-0, and our varsity won against Platte County 56-14. So it was first time in my memory that we've gone 5-0 in a week at all levels. So it was a good week for us. I'd like to open it for questions.
Can you recap the game?
Well, Friday against Platte County, it's a district and a conference opponent, a very important game for us. Platte County came in seeded number 1 in our district, and they probably did not play their best football. We did play, I think, close to our best. I think there's a lot of things we can still clean up, but we won 56-14. We broke several all-time team records, points scored in a game, interceptions in a game, passing yards in a game, passing yards, receiving for an individual in a game. We also have a lot of team records, individual and team records that are already being broken for single season records in our program right now. So there are a lot of positive things in our program right now.
After losing 3 of 4 for this game, you talk a little bit about how good it felt for the team to kind of break out a win like that.
Well, I think the loss of the Winnetonka game will stick in my gut for the rest of my life. So this game didn't erase that feeling, but it's always better to win than to lose. We're happy with our kids' effort and their ability to come back emotionally from a lot of distractions the week before, and a lot of injuries, and a tough loss that we shouldn't have had. So I'm proud of our kids for hanging in there and coming out and being able to put all the distractions behind them, put all the injured players behind them, and the new ones coming in stepped up and did a nice job. Marvin Shoemate, who's filling in for Richard Richardson, ran for 150 yards and scored a couple touchdowns. Right down the line, Michael Hughes, who's playing for injured Peyton Reed, scored a touchdown, a 50-yard touchdown. Wyatt Haywood, playing for Brinkley Jolly, did a nice job blocking, caught a pass for us, a first down, important first down completion. It just goes right down the list. Sal Silvio, playing for an injured Nick Hess or Connor McCann, however you want to say it, played another solid football game. So we've got a good thing going in terms of depth and young men stepping in. I think our coaching staff has done an excellent job of developing the second team and the JV and stuff like that, and teams at each level down so that they're ready to take the next step. I'm proud of our coaching staff for that, because I've not been a part of many teams where you could lose. Now we're up to 8 starting positions out of 22. You could lose 8 kids to injury and still go out and play the kind of football that we played. So I'm pleased with the coaching staff and the kids right now, so far.
Last week, I think you said that you still haven't felt like you've played the best this season so far, but you just said that you felt like you got close this past week. What's changed?
Well, this past week we still had a couple of errors. We turned the ball over in the red zone. We drove down and threw an interception, which we need to fix that. We left a lot of receivers open, and although we were hitting their receivers when they caught the ball, and then eventually they quit catching the ball because we were hitting them, I think had a little bit to do with it. But we were aggressive on defense, but we still left too many people open. We didn't get a good enough pass rush. So there are still things that we need to work on, of course. But in terms of dominating a football game, I don't think that we had dominated a football game in all three phases the way that we did Thursday night. We ran the ball well, we threw the ball well, we stopped the run. We didn't really stop the pass. We kept them out of the end zone in the pass. But we still, I don't think, have played the complete game as well as we can. If we want to be the team that we need to be, we need to not turn the football over. We need to get a pass rush, and we need to cover better. Those three things need to improve. But we're definitely happy with the win, and we'll take it under any circumstances.
What are you focusing on this week going into playing Park Hill South?
Well, Park Hill South is a big, physical, high-quality football team. They are probably, in my opinion, I like the way they play football. So I think that they're our best opponent we've had so far, including Fort Osage and Kearney. Park Hill South has a few losses, but those losses are to some quality football teams, and I just like their style of play. They're physical, they run the ball, they have a pretty simple passing game, but they execute it really well. They play tough defense. I think it's among our biggest challenges of the year. So we better get better this week because they're very good.
You've spoken about your team's past injuries. Do you think these previous injuries will have a detriment effect this upcoming game?
Well, the injuries are definitely going to affect our play. I'm happy with the play of the people who are filling in, but there is a reason that those other kids were the first team kids, and that was because we felt like as coaches that they could do it a little bit better. But we're fortunate that the next kids in are all excellent football players, and we don't put a single kid on the field this year that we don't think belongs on a varsity football field, which we've had to do in the past years. But this year, right now, there's nobody going out there who doesn't belong out there. They're all football players, and they're all good. So, while the injuries are a little bit of an excuse, we can't use that as a pre-game excuse. We'll see how these second team guys do, because if they play like they did last week, and like some of them have all year, then we should still be okay.
As the season's progressed, what do you think the team has gotten better at?
As the season's progressed, what has the team gotten better at? I would say that special teams have improved greatly. Keandre Pugh took a punt back for a touchdown Friday night. He also returned a kick down into the red zone. We were 8 for 8 on extra points. Our kicking game was good. We rarely let the opponent outside the 25 on the kickoffs. So special teams have improved. Defensively, since we've gone from a cover 3 team to a cover 2 team, our defense has improved exponentially. We've always been very good at stopping the run. We still need to rush the passer better, and we still need to cover better, but cover 2 has really helped us with covering better, and we're a much better team in that regard. Offensively, we still make a couple mistakes here and there, but we're getting better at handling the football, and we're going to need to continue to get better. So we're getting better each week, but we got to get better faster.
I think last week's win is going to motivate the boys this week to keep winning.
Well, as a coach, you are disturbed by a lack of success, and you're worried that it's going to get the kids' heads down, and when you have a good night, you worry that the kids won't see their mistakes and their areas that they need to improve on. So sometimes you find yourself trying to be positive when you lose and trying to be negative when you win, so that you can keep those kids from believing the hype, because there's a lot of there's a lot of attention that these kids get. They can see themselves on the computer and look up the chat lines and whatever else they have going on, and so these guys can spend the whole week looking at all the various media about how good they are, and allow that to cause them to lose their focus. So coming off the win, our kids ought to be confident enough to know that they can beat anybody, but they also need to remember the embarrassing loss that we had to Winnetonka in particular, and look at it and say, hey, we can lose to anybody too. So they ought to be confident but vigilant at the same time. All right, want to thank everybody for coming, and I'll see you next week.